All right, we got a new trade alert, y'all. All right, so Euro New Zealand. All right, so first things first, I trade off the daily, look at the structure of the day, and I always look on the weekly too. So we have a weekly, see the volume of this trade, and then it made the inverted head and shoulders already, and it broke the neckline a very long time ago. Yes, I trade inverted head and shoulders. But we have here the consolidation from a very long time ago. We caught this sell and we caught the buy, where it broke out of the consolidation. If you could see for yourself, it broke out of that consolidation. So, and this was a strong consolidation area. For some reason, I think it was on the monthly. So when we had this long, strong candle down and it came back up to retest this area, which you see there's wick. I forgot exactly. I think it was the weekly. Let me see. There was something that I saw. I think it was more like that area. Before we saw all of this, before this whole move was here, we had this break of this area because it tipped it and it tried to tip it again. People probably put buys in, it broke, retested the area where it was once a strong area, and then it made a lower low. So this area is a very strong key point here when we're looking at market structure. And also, this deep move to the downside, like I look at things like this because every time it bounced right there, and people probably saw that wick rejection right there and thought it was going to continue making a low, but it didn't. It broke through this. And then it broke through this area. So there was a lot of volume for Euro, which it makes sense because I was trading EU and I was trading Euro, Czech Republic. But now we're above this area now. So we come over here to the daily. Let's keep this area back down a little bit. We're coming to the daily and we're having problems with this area. This area is not problems. We're having problems wicking down. It's retesting that high. And you know me, it doesn't matter which one you come to. You can come from that low and you'll see there's a 33, which is a nice rejection. But if you come from this low, here's where the 50 golden zone will be at. Let's put that in. Let's make it the color that we want it to be. So here's the 50 golden zone off the level. So it's just tipping, right? So now that we saw that, we can take that off. We know what we're looking at. Let's come down to the H4. And now here we are on the H4, where we can do a quick move like this. Price is respecting. Oh, it's lying. So price was respecting and it came down, but we had a breakout of this selling pressure on this trend. And we have a doji right on where the 50 goes on it. We had a nice bull candle close last week. So let's look at the hour. W, retested a W. So what I'm seeing with Euro New Zealand, and it doesn't matter what time frame. Yeah, we got the M. I'm not too worried about that. Beautiful doji. Let's put some fractals on. No fractals showed up there yet on the H4, but we had these wick rejections off this area. Also, forgot to mention, let's take the fractals off, that it's still a nice uptrend. It's still a nice little uptrend. So, the path of least resistance is better for me. So now that we know that it's on the uptrend, it's a strong push out of this area and then retest. So what I'm looking at here, maybe off the H4, we could possibly get a nice little long position where it's at. And it sucks because I wish it was lower, but I'll just put it right here. below the wicks. Hopefully we don't get wicked out. If it comes lower, I would definitely like it to go low. And we can anticipate the new high. Not that high. Bear with me. Let's see structure. So let's anticipate the new high. We can put it low there a little bit, just in case. Let's anticipate the new high on Euro New Zealand. I mean, from this, looking at the daily, if we so this is the move. Let me just say like that. That's the trade that I'm gonna be anticipating this week. A new high on Euro New Zealand. It's already trending. It's trending up, as you know. We're already trending up as it is. We could get another trend line rejection, then go up, but I'm not gonna get in right away. I'm still going to look for more better confluences to make sure we good. But this is what I'm looking at right now. And then ultimately on the weekly, you know, I trade off higher time frames. So nice week, like I said, nice weekly close. What is the monthly candle looking like? We do have a rejection candle. That is wild. So that's a nice little rejection candle off of that area right there. The area that it might be too late. That was the area I was trying to go back to. It might have already happened, but you know, who knows? Maybe it'll happen again. That was going to be my TP. Because that is the area that I was looking for. As you can see, we put the frackles in. We have the frackle on the support. That was the area. Let's see. Like I said, look at the last month. The last monthly candle closed very strong bullish. So I'm anticipating bullish momentum off of this, especially now we had a fractal on this area, and this was the previous low right here. If we're talking highs and lows, this was the previous low. With the bear, yeah, the bull. So this was the previous low. So it came back up here and it didn't continue. That's what I said. It did not continue this trend down. Because if it was trending down. So you see, price came. Let's see. Let's just be transfluent. So here's the push phase, retested the trend line, push back down. We should retested that trend line and this low and kept going, but it didn't. So we had a nice bullish momentum candle. And that candle's not bad. And you know, it's still the middle of February. We can probably see this pushing back up and touching that again for that trade. Now, ultimately, monthly wise, what I'm looking at for Euro, New Zealand, let's take the fractals off. Let us zoom out a tad bit and look at this for what it's worth. So, pretty good. That was a demand zone. Right there, it wicked down and came back up. So it already touched the demand zone. Yeah, I see this being, I see this coming up here, you know, just taking its time and coming up here and probably getting right here and then touching these highs again. That's just what I see. I'm not saying it's gonna happen exactly like that. I think it wants to come back and touch this supply zone. I think it wants to come back and touch this major supply zone right here. The reason why I say that is, I mean, you gotta think of it this way. You gotta think of it this way. This is what it means to spot liquidity. There's a lot of liquidity up here. There's liquidity up here. And look how many times it spiked up. there's liquidity up here, and then it was this big deep downtrend, right? We had this big deep downtrend, and then price, there's one trend that it hasn't touched yet. Here's another trend that it hasn't touched yet. This is monthly talk here. We're not even talking about like lower time frames right now. We're talking monthly. I feel like it wants to retest this area, because think about this way. I'm a swing trader. I'm in this sale right now. I'm trying to take it to wherever it's trying to go when it happened right here. So let's just say none of this happened, and this is all we see. As a swing trader, you know, you're trying to touch this zone down there, which there's liquidity down there. A lot of liquidity down there. There's a lot of money sitting right there, because people probably put buys down there too. So, but right now we're going to go to the nearest liquidity, which is right here. So the market is going to come to this nearest liquidity right here. And if it gets right here, we could possibly have a drop all the way back down here to touch liquidity again, possibly, if it breaks the trends and all, you know. And this might take a while. We're talking months. This probably take years. And there are swing traders that swing years like that. But ultimately, I don't think anyone has a sell right here. Who knows? But if this was the 15-minute chart, and this is all you had on the 15-minute chart, usually when you see these curly moves that's curling up like this, we could get a breakout of this supply zone and come back up here. We could get a breakout of this supply zone. This could happen this year. This could happen in a couple of years, but this is what I would be looking for. And, you know, I'm going to be trading for the rest of my life, so I'm going to catch these moves. Hopefully, we all stay and stick to our plan and trade for the rest of your life. Getting these markets is a lot of money in these markets. But yeah, spotting liquidity. There's liquidity right there. There's liquidity right there. There's liquidity right there. I mean, it's liquidity over. I see other liquidity spots, but I'm just saying it could come back to just for that structure. But if it comes back for that structure low, it's going to wick down there too, and then collect all that money and fly back up. Collect all that money and start flying back up. But yeah, spotting liquidity on the higher time frames is very great, because like I said, that we just talked about Euro New Zealand, but now I want to speak more on spotting liquidity, because what we end up doing wrong is this. Where's US oil? So US oil, look, it got to this area again. It's here. I remember people were trying to sell it right here, and it came down, but then it shot back up. But it's a lot of money right there. It's a lot of money up there too. And it was money right there at the demand zone. That's why it flew up. And I knew it was going to do this. But, you know, a lot of people is not, you know, as Forex traders, we want our money and go. I'm waiting for oil to touch. Now, it's already touching this area, but I don't see what it hasn't done anything. So I just want to see what happens with oil. I mean, it closed like that. But I'm waiting for it to touch this high again and then wiggle its way back down. I don't know how far it will go. It could come back and touch this area right there. You know, it can probably come back, touch this area, and then we get a nice spike back up to here, maybe, and touch that. Ultimately, both of these are supply zones, but it's a lot of money sitting right here. A lot of money off that move right there. That's why it wicked down when it created these supply zones a long time ago. But we might get that move better than getting back down here. This happened so long ago. Gas prices ain't, you know, oil has been that far down like that in a very long time. So it's going to be a very long time before we see something like that. I don't know, but this one makes more sense. If it comes to this liquidity, grabs the liquidity enough to drop back down, back to this previous low, then shoot back up. So sellers, don't waste your money right now. And I mean, and it's kind of like too late for a buy too. I mean, I wouldn't touch oil right now unless you're going to a lower time frame and finding a setup on there, a continuation setup or a nice little pullback. But spot these liquidity areas in your, come to the monthly and all this, spot the liquidity. Look at this ascending triangle, just dropped, made a W and flew up. And this is why I said come to the neckline of W and then probably come up and touch this supply zone again. But it coming back down there, probably never. Even though I'm sure there are swing traders that probably did put orders in right there, who knows? But because this is oil, we dealing with oil here. So this US oil, so it's probably manipulated in the first place. But like I said, there was Euro New Zealand, and then spotting liquidity. Those that so Euro New Zealand, we're gonna get in. Any prop firm traders that's trying to make some money, there's a nice little setup. I've seen some other setups, but that one I wanted to really I wanted people to see. Yeah, ultimately take these off. Ultimately, I like what I'm seeing on that. I like that it broke structure. This would, like I said, this would be a complete break of structure. Structure break. That broke the structure. It's just retesting the structure and making wicks off of it. So let's anticipate a higher high. Let's anticipate the higher high. So that's all. See you next video.